City Sounds. Creating podcasts, creating podcasters.
Hi, my name's Jackie, and I'd like to welcome you to the pilot series. In our episode, Gastrix, we'll take you into a journey of farts and fun. You can learn what's healthy, what's normal, and what red flags to look out for around your farts, so you can learn more about foods and farting. Do you fart?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I do fart.
Yes, loud and proud, elephant loud.
What do you think is a normal number of farts per day?
Maybe like twice.
3 to 5 times a day.
On average, about 10 to 15.
I think 5 to 10 maybe.
I don't know. I'm not counting my fart.
Do you find farts embarrassing or easy to talk about?
I think I just don't do it. It's a weirder subject than gas, I guess.
It's embarrassing unless you're talking about it with your friend, but it's funny, but it's not something I would talk about with strangers.
I think it's really just because the noise and the smell that comes out your colon, that's what people find disgusting. But they forget that other bodily fluids and bodily things come out that all have sorts of colours, smells and textures. I think that's the reason why. It's just because the physical makeup of what comes out of your gut and your colon, which is what makes it so taboo.
Not at all. I don't think there's any reasons to avoid it. Especially it's quite important for gut health. I reckon if we are open about a lot of different topics like sex, then why not fart? Nothing to be embarrassed. Normalize it so I don't have to hold it back.
Farts have long been the butt of jokes, pranks, and stigma. Reactions are a mixed bag of shyness, embarrassment, or cover-up. Welcome to Gastrix, where we're normalising the conversation, moving beyond the jokes and stigma. And I am Jackie, shining a light on what your gut is really trying to tell you. Let's break the silence and explore the science behind this natural and misunderstood phenomenon. I mean, what exactly is a fart?
Fart is a normal thing. We all fart up to about 20 times a day, which might surprise some people, but we do fart when we're asleep as well. So
That's fascinating from Julie Thompson. She's the information manager at Guts UK, the charity that deals with everything to do with the digestive tract, including flatulence and IBS.
So farts are made up of gases. So there are 3 gases, nitrogen, oxygen and carbon dioxide. And that generally comes from the fact that we swallow air. We also have certain chemical processes that happen in the gut as well, and they produce chemicals such as methane and hydrogen. And so what happens is actually we eat food. When it gets down through to the large gut microbiome, it's a little bit like fermentation, like making beer, and that produces the gas.
And why do farts smell?
A lot of the smell comes from foods that have sulfur in them, brassica vegetables, and cabbage, sprouts. So it is about the food that we eat, but this is a natural process. It's good for us. So we shouldn't necessarily be cutting these things out. But if somebody's having an issue, they're bloating, for example, and that's where somebody's stomach might swell during the day, belly pain. So if it comes along with those other type symptoms, that's the time to maybe go and have a chat with a GP about it.
So is there a link between farting and IBS?
People with IBS have something called visceral hypersensitivity, and that's more of a sort of sensitive digestive tract. That's where the gas becomes an issue in people with IBS, but there's no evidence to suggest that people have more gas than anybody else. For certain digestive conditions, what we call the prevalence of them, or the incidence of them, is increasing. So more people are getting diagnosed, but we don't necessarily know, what the reason behind that is.
Such an interesting insight. And it's clear that farting is completely normal as sleeping and breathing. So knowing this, I, along with my co-producers, Mokshika and Thuy, decided to flip the script and put ourselves to the test to see how food influences farting. Yes, you heard it right. We engineered our own farts. Discover what happened next.
All right, day 1 of the 2-day food challenge. My name is Mokshika and I have chosen salad and kombucha. It'll be an interesting mix of what I'm going to eat. I'm taking some inspiration from this book. There are lots and lots of recipes here. There is a leafy green salad option. Ooh, sprouted bean option. This looks interesting.
Lentils. I'm Jackie, and day 1 of my lentil eating challenge, and I'm warming up a lentil sweet potato stew that was made last night.
Day 1, beans on toast.
Hello, I'm Thuy, and I've chosen baked beans.
2 slices of toast with butter and beans on top. Beans on toast, beans on toast, beans on a toast.
I've downloaded the Chart Your Fart app, and it's got a button which says report a butt trumpet. If I press that, I get a little noise, and I can rate my fart on stench, loudness, duration, how long it lingers, and its detectability. And then it tells me that I have recorded 4 guffs so far today.
So my day has ended. It's 10 p.m. and for the dinner I had potato and pasta salad and recorded my farts in the Chart app, and it says I have recorded about 7 farts. All in all, I've been a little windy, but not that lethal windy that it blows your bazooka out. So that's the summary for day 1. 7 farts, 1 really stinker one, but overall I feel light. And tomorrow it's going to be salad and kombucha, but now time to sleep. So lights off.
So now it's 11:28. I had 2 slices for lunch and 1 slice for dinner, and I think I had like a whole can of beans. So totally there were at least 24 farts since lunch. I couldn't even see anyone in my flat because I'm afraid that I might fart in front of them.
It's lentils, day 2. This evening I'm moving away from red lentils to Thuy lentils with some tomatoes and aubergine. So I chose to eat lentils mainly because I had read people often avoid eating lentils and pulses because they think that it'll make them fart. And I love lentils. And I must say that by lunchtime, I was definitely more windy than usual. And I felt as though my stomach had been sort of scoured out. It felt like a sort of cleansing.
So lentils definitely contain FODMAPs, and this is likely to have caused the increase in gas. It depends on the processing of lentils as well as to how much gas is produced. It depends on how long you store them as well. Sometimes that can affect it. So there's lots of different reasons behind it. So what we advise at Guts UK is that if people increase the fibre content of the diet, the advice is to do that slowly to allow your gut to adjust.
This is day 2 and my last meal for the day, and I am making this wholesome salad with peas, sweet corn, pineapple, and yes, I also have kombucha, but it definitely has escalated my frequency of farts, and it looks like that today my farts also have some sound effects. So my tummy is literally growling, and that makes me wonder, am I over fermenting my gut?
I don't think there's necessarily such a thing as over fermented. The bacterial fermentation will differ on the foods that you eat. Some kombucha does have gas in it. That fermentation process produces fizz, and that gas can travel down to the digestive system. It is quite complex, actually. Some of these salads, like beetroot, would be another example of a food that is prebiotic. And it will depend on what you have within those salads. Salad leaves, for example, may well not give you as much of an issue.
Day 2, beans and eggs, or sunny side up. Okay, so from 8 to 12, I hadn't farted any single time. But then, after I just had like 2 spoons of beans, I farted twice. Okay, so maybe my stomach is a little bit sensitive, but as I recorded, there was total of 26 farts, and all of them are silent.
Baked beans have a prebiotic called galactoligosaccharides in them, but the wheat in the bread would also contribute because that has something called fructooligosaccharides, and these are the things that start the gut fermentation. So that might give you some idea of the changes in the amount of gas produced.
20 farts per day, that's epic. One thing we noticed in our experiments is that most of the food we went for, like lentils, beans and kombucha, is vegetarian, and we were definitely windier than usual. That led us back to some common assumptions, not only about vegetarian food, but medication, stress levels, and also about COVID. So we put these to Julie to bust one myth at a time. Is it a fact or a fart?
Yeah, okay.
Vegetarians fart more.
I haven't seen the evidence, but consider that they have a much wider sort of varied diet with lots of prebiotics. I would have thought that would be the case.
Antibiotics cause excessive farting.
That may well depend on the type of antibiotic. There are certain antibiotics that can cause diarrhea, for example, and if people are still having symptoms, they should go to the doctor with them.
Probiotics can make you more windy.
It may well depend on the person's own bacteria as well. And with people with IBS, sometimes probiotics can be helpful for them.
Gut microbiota in a human body outnumbers human cells.
That's a fact. We have a huge number of microbiome in our gut. We need to treat them well, so we need to be having those probiotic foods, which all helps.
All right, then just for laughs, does fart carry COVID infection?
So COVID can be found in poo. Whether that's partly in gas or not, I'm not sure about that. We don't have the evidence to suggest that's the case.
Good to know. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much.
That's great. Thank you so much for your time. And if you do any more experiments, please share.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
We'd love to.
So what we know now is that they are subtle, they are smelly, they may be musical at times. Farts are nevertheless important signals sent by the unique technology of the human body. We need to get past the taboo and treat every aspect of our body as a fascinating check on our health. We hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. Tune in to our next episode when we talk colon cleansing. Guess what that experiment will be? Until then, keep your subtle signs in focus.